I'm filming this on a Friday, and all week long I've been waiting for the weather to clear up and be nice so I can go on the beach and film this, because I had this really nice vision of me kind of sat on the beach by the sea, by some rocks, chilling, killing, answering some questions, being truthful, being open and honest, setting my feelings free into the air. Don't even ask, it was a vision I had. But it's been horrible all week. It's so bad out there. The window's literally just there, but I'm not even going to show you the weather because it will depress you like it's depressed me. Anyway, hello, my name is Ellie and I make videos here every 2 to 3 days, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel to be notified every time I make a brand new video. Also hit the bell. Also hit, God, okay, I've had 2 coffees today. I rarely drink coffee these days because this happens and my bladder also sets on fire, so this is going to be an interesting video. I loved watching the first few people do this, and I actually did do something like this months and months and months ago, but only on my Instagram story. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Guys, I got sucked in. I got royally sucked into it, and here we are answering your assumptions. How it works is I asked you guys, my viewers, to assume anything about me, assume anything about my life, and I hit my Instagram, I hit my Facebook page, and I hit my community tab on YouTube. Does anyone even use a community tab? Let me know. I don't think I even hit Twitter. But I use Twitter a lot. I probably use Twitter more than all the other things I just mentioned. But let's talk about your assumptions. Thank you so much for being brutal, honest, and interesting as well. I didn't want silly stuff like your favorite color is blue and purple. I wanted things like you summon the demons at nighttime. So you guys delivered, so thank you. Mwah. And let me tell you this now, there is a whole lot to go through, so I need to shut up. So why does my phone say it's charging when it is definitely not charging? Guys, my phone, oh, it's a screenshot. It's because it's a screenshot of my assumptions that I took the other day, and my phone was obviously charging at that time. Oh my God, Ellie, I swear to God I don't have a screw loose. It just appears that way. Okay, so starting with number 1. I have smoked weed before. I've smoked weed in this country and obviously Amsterdam. I usually cover my ass and say, I've been to Amsterdam, so of course I smoked weed, because it just sounds better. And I'm like, I'm a very angelic girl who sticks to the laws and stuff. I personally don't understand why weed is illegal, if I'm going to be honest. I know the effects of alcohol and how terrible it is. As much as I love alcohol and as much as I drink it, I know it's a lot more dangerous than marijuana. So I just feel like, I don't know, I just think, hey, practice what you preach. If you don't think it should be illegal, then smoke it. It was an ex of mine, like an ex of mine, that got me into smoking. They just kind of like were into it, and I was like, okay. At first I was like really against it, because I was like, it can change people. Sometimes it can just like, with any substance stuff, it can, you know, mess things up a little bit. With anything, I'm talking like having like an obsession with social media can change people, or like a coffee addiction. I don't know. Yes, I have, but in moderation. Every now and again for fun. Sometimes it's quite fun to smoke while you, like, I don't know, watch something in nature, or like a cool TV show that like makes you see things cooler. And sometimes it's just nice with friends, and it's just chill. To me, it just feels kind of like drinking a herbal tea or something that just zones you the hell out. And but then again, I am an anxious person. I do have a lot of anxious thoughts on a daily basis. Sometimes it can mess around with that. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't smoke because it gives me anxiety. Like, oh, I have anxiety, so it doesn't help. Some days it can, some days, I say it as if I do it every day. Sometimes it helps and it like makes me just not care, and then other times I'm literally sat there like, why is the earth spinning and I cannot feel it? The same girl actually said you suit doing the job you're doing now more than a regular job, and well, there's a number of reasons actually. Anyone who is a night owl like me knows the struggle of trying to fit into a world that doesn't favor night owls. As soon as I'm trying to be shoved into a routine that is like waking up at an hour where I've basically just gone to bed and then going to sleep at a time where I'm ready to party, it's like shoving a triangle block into one of those like kids' toys where they have like different shapes that the blocks have to go through, and then the triangle that I'm trying to fit into is like a circle. That's how it feels. As well as that, this is a huge creative outlet to me, and I know we just spoke about drugs, but I don't need drugs on a daily because I honestly get so much out of of uploading. As soon as I hit publish, I get a buzz. I honestly get a buzz from reading comments. I get a buzz from reading my emails to like find out what cool stuff I can make for brands, and I get a buzz from going to events, and I get a buzz from meeting you guys. I don't know where you guys are getting this from. I'm not really sure where this came from, but I got a lot of questions which are similar to like, you're not as sweet and innocent as some people might think you are. I assume that you're actually a bit of a minx and you're not as shy as you appear. You're kinky in the bedroom, that kind of stuff. There was honestly so many of those questions, and I'm a bit triggered. Short answer, yes. Long answer, I'm an open-minded person. Even though things might make me a little bit anxious at times, I love to try new things. I'm very open to people's lives. I love documentaries. I love learning about what makes people tick and what makes people buzz. So that curious mindset got me into a little bit of a world of fun and surprises when I looked into like cool things that people are into when it comes to going in the bedroom. I like trying things out. I'm down for anything. I've always said to like past partners and stuff, if you want to try anything, I am ready. I will serve you. Serve. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Are you getting the hints? But no, if my partner was to say, you know, I love it when girls wear ducks on their heads. I love it when a girl like covers herself in green gunge and like slides her way down to the bedroom, I will do that. I like the idea of pleasing my partner. That sounds really cringy, and I'm sorry if any of you gagged or if any of you are eating. I don't mean that literally as a sexual only thing. I mean as a whole. I'm happy to like do what you want to do. I'm happy to like go where you want to go. I just want to see you smile. I'm a very giving person. That doesn't mean I'm a doormat. I am well aware when you're being an ass, and I will tell you to go home. And I struggle very hard with people who are also givers. I've been to a few like kinky events, and I know a few kinky people. Some of it can be quite dangerous if you're an idiot. Like, I'm not saying I'm into like fire eating in the bedroom or anything, but there's some stuff where it's like some people need like training for that kind of stuff because it can get a little bit dangerous. So I have been to like classes and stuff. Oh my god, people are gonna think I'm crazy. But I just want to say right now, if there's anything that you guys are ever into, like I'm not talking about in the bedroom here, I'm talking about in general, you need to just go with it and run with it and celebrate the fact that you are into something and you enjoy something. It doesn't matter if everyone else isn't. You need to recognize the fact that you're amazing enough to have this cool interest, this cool hobby, or something that you maybe have like thought about for a while, but you're like umming and ahhing about it, like maybe your family doesn't believe in it, or like this can go for literally anything, like religion, like a belief, a weird thing you like to do, like you have an obsession with cutting soap. That's a thing now, apparently. Dive into it and explore it, because we're not here for long in the grand scheme of things. How long the world's been here for? We are only on this planet for a tiny second. I knew this would turn weird, and maybe it's a good job I'm not filming this on the beach, because imagine me talking about this stuff on the beach. That would probably not actually go down very well. Adam's cousin, hello. Oh god, I've just realised I'm talking about all this stuff, and then like I'm just picturing some of Adam's family watching this and being like, okay. Okay. She said YouTube is the best and easiest job. Yes, it is the best job in the world, in my personal opinion, but it's only the best job if you love video editing, if you love making up ideas for videos, if you love buying equipment, like spending thousands of pounds on equipment. If that's your idea of like fun, then good. It's my idea of fun, but it isn't for a lot of people. You also have to be into admin stuff, like you got to be on top of your emails all the time, and you get a lot when you're online. You need to be quite a business head as well, because I took business for GCSE and I loved it. I got an A star. No, I just got an A star, but I loved it so much. I didn't really know why, because not a lot of my other friends did, and when I wanted to pick business studies, everyone was a bit like, that's social suicide. Once again, I want to chase the interest I have. I want to chase my dreams, and I'm so glad I did, because I learned so much there. And also it reminded me that this is something I want to do, as in like be a freelancer, work for myself. I want to work for myself as much as possible and as long as I possibly can in my life. But unless you hire someone to do your taxes and stuff, I do my own taxes, I have to do my own bookkeeping, but I love all of that. So honestly, it's the best job for me. Easiest, probably one of the easiest in terms of, because it's so enjoyable, you end up loving it, and then it makes work not feel like work. But if you don't love all of those aspects, then it's not going to be the easiest, because all of that stuff, if you don't like at least 3 of those things, it's going to be probably the hardest job you ever had. Felix said, you stream on YouNow almost every day at www.younow.com/nincompoop. Thanks for the promotion, Felix. Thank you. So when I was taking screenshots for this video, I read this one next to Adam, and I said, right, you're the perfect person for this one. And I should have recorded what he said, because he said it in a really lovely way and it almost made me cry. But he obviously knows me the best, most out of most people in my life. So I said to him, I was like, right, you know me really well, you know what I'm like. Is this true? Because honestly, this is something that all YouTubers get. Every YouTuber gets told, I bet you act differently off camera. And sometimes you get told it so much that you're a bit like, do I? Like, you have to kind of question yourself. And he said something along the lines of, you act more yourself on camera than I've seen you act with other people. And I was like, because there were tiny moments in my life where I've struggled trying to understand whether I am being truly authentic online and whether this is myself or whether I'm putting on something that I want people to see me as. I don't know whether I'm putting on this personality of a person I want to be and all of this. But the way he said that was really lovely, because he put it better than I ever could. Because I've seen myself in a room with other people I don't know very well. I'm very quiet, I'm very reserved. I don't like to be the center of attention. I listen more than I talk, I observe, I take things in, I analyze, I understand, and I'm that kind of creepy girl in the corner of the room that doesn't talk. That's around people I don't know, okay? And the reason why I've questioned this in myself before in the past is because I've had people come up to me and say to me, like friends or even people that don't know me very well that found my videos, and they say stuff like, you're nothing like you are online. At first, I used to be like, oh, really? And then I'd be like, oh, that's so weird. Like, oh my God. Trying to like dodge that awkward statement that they've just made. And then as time's gone on, now when people say it, I mean, this might sound a little bit harsh, but I usually say back to them, like, I probably am not myself around you. Because I feel the most comfortable on camera than I do anywhere else other than my family, other than Adam, other than my best friends. Like, this is me, and then what other people see is probably just like me kind of like keeping all that in and keeping all that pushed down. But if you're anyone that's known me in real life and you're watching this and you're like, Ellie was nothing like that, rah, 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 then I probably didn't like you, or I don't feel comfortable around you, or you make me feel awkward, or I simply just need to get to know you a little bit better. No character, no facade, this is me. I feel like I was in The Greatest Showman then. So this one really struck a chord in my heart because it hurt. No, but it's an assumption and it's very valid, and I appreciate the honesty. I have wanted to make a video about this for a long time. I've struggled with trying to think about how the format should go, what I should talk about, and maybe I could just like dip into it a little bit in this video and then kind of see how it goes, and then maybe in the future I can continue on what I said in this video. Right, so as I was saying, YouTube's my everything. I love it so much. There's so many different parts of the process that I really enjoy. And now imagine you putting in so many hours, so many weeks, months, years of your life into a project, and there's never really any growth, any form of like progress at all for like years. And I'm saying like 2 to 3 years. And that's how I felt on YouTube recently. I feel personally, I mean, it's probably a little bit of me, it's probably a little bit of the algorithm, it's a little bit of like the way YouTube pushes out certain videos and doesn't push out others, and it's also a little bit about the fact that YouTube's massive now. It's very saturated. I grew most on this channel when it wasn't very big. There wasn't many people doing it. It might be easier to get big on YouTube now because there are so many people on the platform to view the videos, but that also means there's a lot of competition on here, and it is quite heartbreaking to kind of see that your efforts aren't really being taken anywhere. And I don't want to sound ungrateful because I know there are still people here that are watching these videos and that stuck around, and there's new people that have come every now and again, but the majority are going. If I'm going to be honest, you're right, like the decline in views does make it hard to stay motivated, which is why I always say to people to not start YouTube for one reason, which that one reason might be fame, might be money, might be attention, might be promotion, like you might have a shop or something that you want to promote. You can't do it for one reason because YouTube doesn't fuel you enough for one reason. Like, you need so many parts of the process to fill you up. Like, you can't run on just one thing. And if I run on, you know, fame, if I run on money, if I run on the view count, I would have given up 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever, because there has genuinely not been any sign of progress for that amount of time. So all I'm saying, like, if you were a painter, for example, and you're painting pictures and lovely things for 2 years, and you got like 3 buyers a month consecutively, maybe 2 every now and again because it's like declining a little bit. If you didn't love painting, you're not going to continue on, are you? It is demotivating, but it's never going to make me stop because I enjoy it so much. What I wanted to make a video about regarding this kind of topic was on why I feel as though this might have happened, what makes me stick out as a creator in comparison to other ones that have steady growth a lot of the time. And there are so many things. The more I think about it, the more things come to me. You know, there are YouTubers out there that do study on like how YouTube channels grow, and you can look at article after article that help you grow your channel, and they give you tips and everything. And I've looked at them and I've dipped into it and dipped out of it again because it just feels so like dirty, because it's like how to like manipulate people into subscribing to you. Not really saying you're manipulating, but you know, these tips are things like you have to act this certain way, you have to be approachable, make sure you plan into the video 3 times to like it, to subscribe to you, make sure you share your video on like 5 different platforms, and then you hashtag this and hashtag that because it will come up in people's feed, and their brain's gonna like remember you as they scroll through their feed, and all this like mental stuff that I'm a bit like, if people like me, they can like me. If people want to subscribe to me, they can subscribe to me. I'm not going to do some sort of creepy witchcraft, churn out the content that I know people are clicking right now because, you know, I want the views, and I'm going to sit here and just pretend I'm really enjoying cutting soap because it's a trend, or I'm really enjoying doing ASMR because it's a trend, when I can't stand those things. For views, it just feels dirty, it just feels weird. I'm really, really proud about the fact that I've stayed true to who I am, to me. I would much rather be on a platform where I'm really myself, I'm truly me, I'm always posting content I love, and I'm always doing the things that I want to do, and I get attention from that, rather than following the rules and doing the things you gotta do to gain the attention and to gain the fame, or whatever you want to call it. Because authenticity is a lot more valuable to me than, you know, your reach. And there are plenty enough people on here that are quite clearly doing it for one reason, so I don't really want to put myself in the same boat as that. Don't take life seriously, we all end up dead anyway. The way YouTube's going is it's becoming more and more business-like, and although I did say earlier on in this video I love business studies and stuff, YouTube is based around personality. It's called YouTube. It's putting a bit of you out there into the world. And it started off as a place where people express themselves, people put their true authentic selves out there on the internet. There was no editing, there was no correcting and stuff. I'm still gripping onto that old school YouTube style of expression. I just want to express who I am. I feel like it can do a bit of damage to your mental health if you're obsessing too much over view counts and growth and demographics. And anyway, next assumption. Love this one because it is probably very, 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 very true. With my 2 sisters being gay, my mum has always wanted to be a grandmum, so like the pressure is on. The more I've been with Adam, the more I'm like, oh, I want to produce a baby with you because he's so cute. Like, he does these weird things that just remind me of a child, and I'm like, you're gonna give birth to the cutest kids. I do feel very pressured about it. As a woman, it's very pressured to, you know, have babies, and honestly, like, as much as I am a family orientated person, it's never really felt like something that I've ever wanted to do. But it's my life, it's my body, I'm gonna do what I want to do with it. I had a few questions about being a pagan. You're interested in Wicca, paganism, magic, etc. I would say that is true. I don't know how much of it I want to put onto YouTube because I feel like people don't really care about that kind of aspect. If you want to hear me talk about more kinds of stuff to do with that, let me know. But I don't want to put my channel in a direction where everyone's like, what the hell is Ellie doing? And then everyone leaves. This one's interesting. I would say, I mean, my boyfriend, for example, once again, he knows me very well, and he says I'm probably one of the happiest people that he knows, and I'm a very cheerful person. I like to keep bubbly. It's rare to see me sad and upset, and when I am sad and upset, I just kind of hide away in a hole. You're not going to see me making videos, and you're not going to see me in real life because I'm just like chilling for a little bit, but then I come out again and I'm ready to rock. Like, I don't see myself in very many sad situations and periods because I tend to see the light, the brighter things and the better things by default. I'm very naturally optimistic, and I wake up and I'm like, hey, I got my legs, I got my hands, I got my head, my brain works, I can do things, I can move things. I am in a country that I love, I'm around people that love me, and why I would be sad about any of that is beyond me. And I snap myself out of things quite quickly. Like, I could be sad about the fact I just spilled white paint over my new carpet, but at the end of the day, right, we're on a floating rock in space, so chill. There's a lot of things in my life that I have contemplated over, a lot of things. I am not very good at making decisions. I overthink a lot, but YouTube's the only thing that I've never, ever, ever wanted to quit or stop ever in my entire life since I made this account in 2008. I've never once said, I'm deleting this account. Never, honestly, ever. This is the only thing, and I've said this a lot of times before, this is the only thing in my life I've ever been 100% sure of, ever. 101% sure of. I love it. There's so much passion in my heart for this channel, honestly. I had a few of these ones, a few kind of similar sounding ones to this, which is interesting. I've always considered myself a pansexual, which basically means I love frying pans. There's a hair in my drink. Cute. Pansexuals basically don't care who you are, where you come from, what journey you're on, where you started, what gender you were when you were born, what gender you are now. They don't care about if you're trans. They don't care about if you're an alien. They don't care if you're, I don't know, a llama. Wait, I don't date animals. They just don't give a shit, basically. And I resonate most with that kind of sexuality because I think it's really beautiful. It's the only sexuality I've ever read and been like, that is stunning, and makes so much sense, because at the end of the day, when you date someone, we're all souls, right? And when you date someone, you love somebody for their soul and for the thing that is existing inside of this skin. This skin means nothing to me. Sure, I can look at a handsome or pretty person and be like, damn, they're nice. But if they're an asshole, if they're not a very nice person, if they are nasty, if they're negative, if they're critical, and if they're just a scabby piece of work, I'm not going to like them anymore. They're going to suddenly be ugly. And that's because I see things as they are. I don't fluff things up. I feel people I feel somebody's presence and who they are as a person. Sex doesn't come into it. Like, what's hanging on the end, in the middle of your legs, doesn't really matter. And we all know how love makes us feel. It's warm, it's mushy, and it's lovely, and it's emotional, and it's great, and it makes us feel magical, and anyone who finds that is worth celebrating for. And I've always felt that, you know, like I said earlier, the world is very short, life's very short, and the time we're on this planet, we need to find what makes us happy, and we need to celebrate what makes us happy. And it makes me so sad that there are some people that never get to experience love, never get to find out what that feels like and understand how life-changing it can be. And then there are parents, there are people, there are friends, there are colleagues that see someone who's gay or sees someone who's with somebody they don't necessarily accept, like a religion or something. They think the world of each other, and that person is so closed-minded that they're like, you shouldn't be together. Like, your love isn't worth celebrating because they're a different skin color, because you're gay, or because I don't know, they're disabled or something like that. It just, love is love. Like, we should just be celebrating the fact that we can love as humans, that this person has found love. This is why I love weddings, because I'm like, you guys have found that thing which loads of other people can't find or they're looking for, and you've found it, and I want to celebrate that. Love is love. I can't even remember what the assumption was. Where the hell did that go? This one was interesting because I feel like this is only true because of the money aspect. Like, I do sometimes fantasize about a world where I can wait until like a certain date of the month and receive my paycheck and just know that it's coming and it's very secure. And having a normal regular job is a lot better when it comes to, you know, wanting to buy a house and the adult stuff like renting, and you're taken more seriously when you've got like a normal job, that's for sure. But that's the only aspect where I'm like, hey, that would be so much easier. But then every other part of it, I'm like, ooh, I do not want that in my life, thank you. I don't think I drink too much. I used to binge drink. No, I do binge drink still every now and again when I go out, like twice a month. I would say I properly binge drink, or I go mental, but I don't think I drink too much, and I don't think other people would think I drink too much if they saw my drinking habits. This one was really interesting. I mean, there's a spelling mistake on it. It says, I assume you're quiet, jealous in a relationship. I assume that you assumed you meant you're quite jealous. I used to be. My first relationship was terrible. Like, how toxic are first relationships, can I just say? You just become very jealous and you're new to it, and you just get very protective over people. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but in your first relationship, you're very insecure. I was anyway. They said you left, and then my ex-boyfriend's name here. I'm not going to put my ex-boyfriend's name because it just feels weird, because they're not like in the video and they don't have consent to be in the video. I just find it a bit strange saying their name. You left your ex-boyfriend because he wasn't treating you as nicely anymore. I still get so many questions about my past relationship because it ended quite weirdly. Like, 1 minute we're great, 1 minute we're not great, and we broke up. And I was just like, guys, I've broken up. That's what it is. And then I'm like, hey, I got a new boyfriend. It wasn't like an instant thing. It wasn't like out of the blue and as random as I made it seem. Less and less effort was kind of being put into the relationship. Things were addressed in the relationship that I wasn't happy with anymore. And I would state these things. I would say like, oh, I don't like the way you say that, or the way you do this in these types of events, and I don't like how you come across when you say things like that. And it was always pushed back and said to me like, well, that's the way I am, like I'm not changing it. If you don't like me, then don't be with me. And it was never like, it never felt like a progression, but to me it always just felt like backwards. Like I didn't ever feel I was getting that level of respect. Like the respect kind of felt like it went down a little bit. I felt loved, but then there were moments where I didn't feel loved. I felt kind of like compressed, and I felt like I couldn't truly be me. When I was trying to be myself, it was either like pushed down or like told that it was like weird. Just chilling and talking was a struggle at times, because I'm finding this really hard to put into words, because it's just weird. You know, when you don't have their consent, I just don't like blowing people up under flames. I put it down to, I felt that they weren't very secure as a person, right? And when you're not secure and you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. Because I never understood that saying where it's like, if you don't love yourself, then you can't be with someone else, like you can't love somebody else. Because it just sounded weird. Like, what does that even mean? You know, you have so many problems that go on in your head about your own self and your own body. You kind of project it, and I felt a lot of that. I felt that anything that I did or the way I was kind of pushed back down out of insecurity. Personally, I feel, you know, I couldn't do certain things, and certain things that I wore wasn't right, and certain, you know, stuff that I said was weird because they had an issue with it, because I feel like it came from within themselves. I gave it a lot of chances because I didn't like the fact I wanted to, you know, I wanted to come out of a relationship with someone because of their own insecurities. Like, that made me feel like a horrible person. I didn't want to break up with someone because they were insecure. That sounds terrible. So I gave it so many chances. But, you know, the minute someone says to you, like, if you don't like who I am, then why are you with me? Like, that genuinely, like, rung in my ears for weeks. And I was like, well, it's true. Like, they're telling the truth. They're proud of the way they are. They're not going to change for anyone, and I very, very respect that. I don't think you should change anyone in a relationship. I do think that you should grow together as a couple, though. I do think that maybe if there is anything that you want to address and say, you know, I didn't like the fact you said that in like a family gathering, I didn't like the fact you did that in front of my friends, which was stuff that those were real conversations that came up, and you're not willing to say, you know, I did mess up a little bit, or you're not willing to say, I will work on that part of me, then I think there's something wrong with that. Like, yeah, I want to be treated as nicely as possible. And that's a message for all of you out there as well. If you feel like you can't be your true authentic self around your partner, if they're not letting you, or if you feel things don't always add up, like they might be a soppy mushy person, they might be a very lovey-dovey kind of couple, but if the foundations don't feel secure, like if they can't just have like a normal chatty conversation with you, then that's the main thing, right? You need the good foundation, which I think is a good reason why people like to be friends with someone before they're in a relationship, because you set the foundations on that way. But anyway, that's a different topic. When it comes to piercings, I've always ummed and ahed about different lip piercings, different lip rings, or like at one point I wanted a nose piercing done, but then the kind of like want for that fades a lot. The need to get anything pierced hasn't ever stuck around long enough for me to actually book an appointment and go get it done. I don't really work on impulse when it comes to stuff like that, especially when it comes to tattoos. Now, my issue with tattoos is they're so they are permanent. Permanent stuff scares the actual shit out of me, and I'm a very indecisive person. You can ask my boyfriend, he literally makes all my decisions for me because they freak me out. You should see me when I play on like a story-based video game. I freak the F out when I'm having to decide like who dies and who stays, and we've got like 10 seconds left. I'm like, like, decision making has never been my forte. I've played around with different designs like Disney. I wanted a Disney tattoo at one point, and now I look back at that and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get a Disney tattoo because I feel like I don't know enough about Disney. It's that thing where first tattoo goers, you know, when you get your first tattoo, you want it to be really special and mean something. I have that issue. So I guess I'm stuck in that world of like perfecting the first one. And then I wanted something like to do my star sign, but then I know that it can be a bit cliche and cringy sometimes. And like, do I really want to stick like spiritual stuff on my body? Because maybe one day I'm like, oh, I don't believe any of this anymore. As time went on, more and more people have got piercings and tattoos done, and it just seems less and less unique and individual. So it kind of put me off a little bit. I like the fact it shocks people when I tell them I've got literally no body modifications done, because as you said, it's kind of surprising to me that you have 0 body mods, because I like that. It kind of makes me feel different, individual, in a very paradoxing individuality way. There wasn't one single assumption that pissed me off or like made me feel weird other than this one. This made me cringe to my heart's content. I assume that you started dating Adam because he looks like your ex-boyfriend. I personally can't get my head around the concept of dating somebody because they look like an ex-boyfriend. The only way I can understand that is if your boyfriend broke up with you and you were madly in love with them and you were really hung up about them and you couldn't get over them, so you settled for someone that kind of like reminds you of them. When I came out of that relationship, I saw things with a fresh pair of eyes. Like, I was worried that I would come out of the relationship and be really sad, but I did feel like, without sounding rude, I felt over the relationship fairly quickly, way more quickly than I believed I was going to, because we were together for so long. But it was mainly because I felt really free. For a while I did feel kind of restricted and confined to certain things and doing certain stuff, so I felt really good. Obviously people have a type, but I had a few other people saying the same thing about this, like, you are dating someone who looks like, why does this person look like your ex-boyfriend? And I had family members saying to me like, oh, he looks like your ex, and I was like, and then like other family members were saying to my family members like, are you joking? So if we're gonna be real here, the only aspect like this just the thought of talking about this is literally making me cringe so much. The fact I'm like talking about this out loud is just weird. The only slightest aspect of similarity we're talking about here is a hairstyle, right? If you're gonna shave off the hair, I'm talking different sized lips, I'm talking about different coloured eyes, I'm talking about different shaped eyes, different sized nose, different skin tone, different facial hair, like about a freaking 1.5 feet taller as a person, a totally different body shape. Like, I can't even think of any other similarities, but I understand the hair concept. Other than that, it blows my mind that I got this so often, and I'm glad I finally got this off my chest because it is weird as fuck. I was not in a place where I wanted to date someone who looked like my ex, because what is the point? I chose to come out of that relationship. If I wanted to date someone who looked like my ex, I would have continued dating my ex. End of that one. Jazz, I would say you're very correct on that one. Does anyone else date someone who's not as much of a sex pest as them? Because the struggle is real. Now, the winner to the best assumption out of the whole video is Hayden Blair. Ah, well done, Hayden. I don't really know. I guess you'd have to ask Adam. Another question about my ex. I assume you're still good friends with your ex. We do talk every now and again. We keep it friendly because I don't really see the point in being bitter. I'm quite close with all my exes. Not close. I'm not close with any of them. But I'm still on talking terms because Life's too short. Don't hold grudges, people. Build a bridge and get over stuff, because you will have a much more free and open and happy and spiritual life. So my mum said to me, if you're ever gonna do something that's gonna get you in trouble, do it on your own. Don't bring your friends into it. Don't do it as a group. No one suspects the loner. No one suspects the person who's on their own. And because I was quite a quiet kid, that was something I really took with me throughout school. For example, my mum used to set free the frogs that they used to dissect in science, because she felt it was very inhumane, and she was like, I need to do this. She knew she would get in trouble for it, so no one suspects the quiet kid. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video, guys. This was actually a lot of fun. I would like to do something similar to this. I hope there's another cool trend that we all can take part in, because I really enjoyed this. You can join me on all these social medias that people are talking to me on, such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I also stream live on YouNow every weekday. So don't forget to become a fan of me on there. Thank you to my patrons as well for supporting me for so long, because you guys have been rocks. You are the reason I can do this full time, and I do want to start reading out your names at the end of videos, because I don't feel like just displaying it is enough. So thank you, Ali, Amy, Becca, Eileen, I can never say her name, Ellie, Kelly, Lisa, Louise, Carla, Steve-O, William, and Zara. You guys are the best. You rock. See you guys and the rest of you very, very soon. Thank you for taking part in this video if you did. Bye bye.